Well, to discuss the clear procedures as well as the safety situation around the Fukushima power plant, let's go live now to Kevin Kamps, a nuclear waste specialist at the Beyond Nuclear organisation. Hi there, Kevin. Morning. According to experts, reactor 4, this is the one that they're talking about taking the fuel rods out of, was so badly damaged in 2011. If there's another earthquake, it could collapse. So I guess they have to get these rods out, correct?
Yes, it's been a strange race against time that's taken 2.5 years now because they've had to rebuild the infrastructure of the Unit 4 building, which was so badly destroyed by the explosion. Now they're ready to go with infrastructure and a crane to lift these 100-ton loads of irradiated nuclear fuel assemblies out of the pool down to the ground to try to get them into a ground-level pool. And it's a very risky operation, as your reporter reported, because the fuel itself could be bent, it could be damaged, it could be corroded. They used salt water at one point to cool the nuclear waste in this pool, which could have corroded the assemblies. They could break apart, they could crumble when they go to try to remove them. Even the director of the Nuclear Regulation Authority of Japan has warned that this process should not be rushed. They should not try to force these assemblies out of their storage channels, but they have to get them out before a big earthquake takes the building down.
In short, what's the
cooling
worst
water is
that
drained
could
away.
happen,
The
Kevin?
waste would then catch on fire.
In short, what's the worst that can happen?
There is no radiological containment around the pool, and if this waste were to catch on fire, it could be 10 times worse than Chernobyl. That's how much radioactivity is stored in that pool, just in terms of the radioactive cesium content.
Now, as we just heard from our correspondent, Alexei Rajewski says people are already resettling near Fukushima. I mean, how safe is it for them?
Well, it's a great tragedy that the Japanese government is allowing this to happen to within as close as 12.4 miles of the devastated nuclear power plant. Obviously, the landscape is contaminated, the food supply is contaminated. As your reporter said, it's up to individual private citizens to try to figure out how bad the contamination is. Environmental groups are trying to help them. So it's beyond tragic. It's a crime what's happening at Fukushima Daiichi.
The chief at the Fukushima plants called the process of removing these fuel rods the, quote, official start of the decommissioning. I guess that means that TEPCO is now in control of the situation, although judging by all the reports you hear, it doesn't sound like it, does it?
Well, there were petitions delivered today, signed by 150,000 people from around the world to the United Nations, calling on the United Nations to send the best and brightest scientists and engineers in the world to Fukushima Daiichi. It's absurd that Tokyo Electric is in charge of this globally significant extraction of the fuel from the pool. If something goes wrong, this could be a global catastrophe that dwarfs what has happened at Fukushima Daiichi thus far. Tokyo Electric has shown its true colors time and time again. Its incompetence, its dishonesty. So it's very frightening that Tokyo Electric is in charge of this.
Yeah, really gloomy news to hear that. Kevin Kamps, nuclear waste specialist, thanks for taking the time to come into the studio and talking to us. Appreciate it.